y'all, my name is Kayla and welcome to my cozy chaotic corner of the internet. Now, before you say anything, if I look like I just rolled out of a low budget 80s film, it's because I just woke up. I haven't had my coffee. I'm trying to be a healthy girly here and not have coffee be the very first thing I consume in the morning. Anyhoozle, the reason we all gathered here bright and early this morning is because I realized I never really made like a proper intro to the video you're about to watch. So this is Future Kayla, and Future Kayla wants y'all to know that I'm trying out this reading vlog thing, and my structure for reading vlogs is going to be very chaotic. Pretty much it's just going to be me chit-chatting about whatever random books I'm reading for that week. I will note that reading vlogs will more than likely contain some sort of spoiler. It's literally just me running at the mouth with my real-time thoughts on whatever book I'm reading. So if there's a certain book that I am reading and you're just like, I want to hear nothing of it, feel free to use the little chapters down below. I will have each chapter contain whatever book we were chit-chatting about at that moment, so you can like skip ahead and like avoid any possible spoilers. But with all of that noted, let's go check out Past Kayla. Okay, y'all, so I am cracking away at The Woman in Cabin 10, and I am mostly listening to the audiobook, but every once in a while when something scathing happens, I like go to the book and I like read it over, and oh my gosh, we're just like, I don't know if it's like a huge plot twist, but we're at a plot twist and I was not expecting this plot twist at all. Anyways, yeah. But as of right now, I don't think that this technically would fit the prompt of a locked room. But it's a damn good book so far. I am listening to audiobook. I'm not the biggest fan of the narrator because of like some of her dialect choices. Like some of the men sound really stupid and dumb when I feel like they should sound just more posh and arrogant. And then the main character, when there's just certain parts where she's talking and I'm just like, this is so annoying and grating, but like that's just her dialogue parts. All of her narration style, I don't mind the narration style, but there's just certain vocal choices that this narrator is choosing that I'm just like, not a fan of. But we'll see what you have to offer, Miss Ware. I actually kind of hope I finish this by the end of the day, because I'm about like 40% in and it's only like 10 o'clock. So if I just keep listening to the audiobook, I should be done with this by the end of the day. Do y'all ever just like read mystery thrillers that just get to the point of like, this can't be what's happening, this can't be what's happening, this can't, like all you want to do is skip to the end of the book to figure out what the heck is happening? Because the urge just to like flip to the last page, the urge is real strong with me right now. Oh my gosh. So there's parts, like there's chapters and then there's parts. And I'm currently at part 5 at like 48%. Like what else is gonna, it's interesting because you're doing like slight time hops, but not really, because like the bulk of the story is just a continuous chronological storyline, just like from point A and you're just keep on trucking. At least that's what it seems like. But then there's like little interjections of like newspaper clippings and text messages and emails that are from like the future. And so those are like kind of your plot twist of like, what the heck is actually going on? But then you return back to the storyline and then you're just sitting there speculating, being like, anyways, right before part 5, we got another like newspaper clipping and I'm just like, I want to say it's a big old red herring and like we're gonna be bamboozled at the end and be like, that, at least that's what my brain wants. Like my brain is like, no. What these little snippets are referring to, that's not reality. That's not what's actually happening. At least I hope. Okay, without any spoilers, 5 stars. 5 stars. 5 stars. It was just like a whirlwind, literally to the last page. The last page is just like nail in the coffin. Oh my god. It's a good book. You should probably go check it out. The Woman in Cabin 10. I don't even know if you guys can see that. Anyways, I do want to note though, it does technically feature a locked room. Earlier I did say that I didn't think that this book really ticked the box for a locked room. I'm going to take that statement back. We're going to retract that statement. That's all I'm going to say. Okay, y'all. So I'm currently listening to Rabbits. Rabbits is based on a podcast back from the mid 2010s. When did I start listening to Rabbits? Anyways, and I loved the podcast so much, and the audiobook of... Okay, hold on, wait, rewind. So, there's a book called Rabbits by Terry Miles, and it is based on a podcast also called Rabbits. And the podcast was from the mid 2010s, which I absolutely loved and adored. This was back in my podcast phase of I loved listening to more storytelling podcasts and not just people shooting the shit podcasts. And so there was Black Tapes and Rabbits. Anyways, that's neither here nor there. And I feel because obviously Rabbits the book is a continuation of Rabbits the podcast, I have really high expectations for the audiobook. And so far it's meeting the mark. I would say my only complaint though is that obviously audiobooks are typically narrated by one person. I would have loved so much for this audiobook to be almost more like the podcast. That would have been amazing, especially anyone who's reading Rabbits. Not anyone, but I feel most people who read the book Rabbits would have gravitated towards it because of the podcast Rabbits. I am 4 chapters in currently, and it's only 10%. This is a hefty book, but I will say listening to the audiobook it's the way to go, especially if you're reading Rabbits because you were a fan of the podcast Rabbits. Doesn't have the same production that the podcast did, but it's still pretty good so far. I stopped Rabbits at 25%, just over 25% of the way through. Not stopped it in the sense that I'm DNFing it, but stopped it in the sense that I just needed to take a break. Because one thing I forgot about the Rabbits podcast is it gets kind of lofty, metaphysical, over your head. It gets a little too theoretical. So I took a little break just because I needed to sit and process everything I was consuming through my ear holes. And I actually kind of think this is why I'm grateful that I'm listening to the audiobook and not trying to read the book. Because to be frank, if I was reading the book, I think I probably would have DNF'd it. Specifically at the point I'm currently listening to it at. Because it's just getting a little over my head. I don't think I would be processing it the same way as listening to it. So just that little factoid. I honestly don't think I'm going to return to Rabbits today. I will be returning to Rabbits. It's just a matter of when I'll be returning to Rabbits. So for the sake of this video, we're gonna say I'm DNFing the book, but I'm not. It's not a hard DNF. It's just I need a little break. I need a little palate cleanser before I carry on with this book. So considering I'm at the 25% mark, I might be setting down this book multiple times, but at the bare minimum, I'll let y'all know when I finish it. You guys will be at least updated on that part. But yeah, I actually don't know what book I want to start next because I bought a boatload of books this weekend. And I also just have a bunch of books on my physical TBR that I need to crack into. I kind of want to hit up one of 2 books. Hold on. Let me prop you guys against one of the many things on my desk. I want to crack in one of two books, and for varying reasons. So we have Snow Globe by So Young Park, and this is like a dystopian YA book. And I don't know, I think like maybe YA is the vibe. I have heard that this doesn't read like YA, it just is YA, and maybe it's just because this is an English translation of a Korean book. And so maybe the fact that it is like Korean YA, that's why maybe it reads a little more, we'll say like new adult. I want to delve into this one, or there's A Brief History of Several Boyfriends, which is pretty thin. I don't know if it's going to be like the quickest read, but it is an option. Both of these are like physical copies, so it's not like I can work and listen to the audiobook. I'll check in later today and let you guys know which one I picked.
To provide an honest account of my day-to-day activities in the field as I document.
Apparently Jinx is driving home today, so we'll see how that goes. It'll be a fun adventure. Okay, y'all, let's just wrap up this reading vlog. First and foremost, we did read The Woman in Cabin 10. I absolutely loved this book. This was such a fun book. I don't know, maybe I'm just not like as great of a mystery reader as I think I am, but I did not see these twists and turns coming. Personally, I thought this was phenomenal, so definitely recommend The Woman in Cabin 10 for all you mystery girlies. Next, I listened to Rabbits, and I have not returned to Rabbits yet. Mostly because my audiobook was due on the Libby app, so I just returned it and called it a day. I think I have to really be in the mood for that book because it does get a little lofty in the headspace. Like the actual plot line is really great, but then sometimes it just like delves into like the nitty gritty details a little too much. So I'm just like, I need a little breathing space. So I will definitely return to Rabbits at some point. I just need, as I noted earlier, I just need a little breather, a little break from that. So yeah, that's Rabbits. Next, I did start A Brief History of Several Boyfriends, and I did set this down after 10 pages. I don't know why I've like went back and forth in my head about what this book was. Initially, I thought it was just a bunch of short stories. And that's what it is. It is a bunch of short stories. And I'm not the type of person to sit down and read short stories. But then I also had the thought that I was like, no, this is just like one singular woman telling the multiple stories of all her several boyfriends. No. It's definitely the first. It's not the latter. This is just a bunch of super short stories about different questionable relationships. Like the two I read were interesting, but they also just like made me mad. And I'm like, I don't want to just be reading story after story after story of like situations that are just making me mad. So yeah, I honestly don't know if I'll return to that one. Maybe if I just want to do like a short story kick, but yeah, definitely not definitely not just gonna sit down and read that one, if you know what I mean. And then we did start Emily Wilde's Encyclopedia of Faeries, and if you want to learn the rest of my thoughts and opinions on this, you're just gonna have to watch next week's vlog. So with all that, thank y'all so much for hanging out with me today. Let me know in the comments down below, did you like this little situation we did here? For anyone new here, so my channel did start out with like just being weekly vlogs, and it's only been in the past like few months that I've transitioned into more book-oriented content. I did kind of like miss the vlogging aspect, so I was like, you know what I'll do? I'll just have reading vlogs. Let's just do that. So yeah, that's all I got for you guys today. Thank you so much for watching this video. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel, and I will see y'all in the next one.